One of the great things about these song forms is that like they have this built-in shape to them and this built-in expectation. And all of art, in my opinion, is about balancing expectation and surprise. All right, hey arrangers. I just recorded this video, and the keyboard didn't record, so I am remaking it right now. Anyway, technology. So hey, I hope you guys are all doing great. Your assignment for this week is going to be the ABAC form. So this is a similar form to AABA, which we've been getting inside of for the past 2 weeks. But it's a little bit different. It is similar in that it is also one of the standard song forms, particularly in in jazz standards and Broadway tunes and classic songs. It A way to think of it is like a big first and second ending, and it can be. I say big first and second ending. If you wanted, you could have be a tiny first and second ending. You could have a really short song form, or it can be a very long first and second ending. And I'll do a demonstration of that in a few minutes. But the basic idea is you have the beginning of a melody, your melodic statement. That's our A. And then it goes someplace a little different, and that's our B. And then it comes back, and we have that melodic statement again, and that's the second A. And then it goes someplace new, and that's letter C. And that someplace new, that C, might be similar to letter B, but generally C is where the climax goes in an ABAC form. And, with the AABA form, we had talked about how you can have the climax there are a few different spots in that form that can work for a climax. In ABAC, there's really only one spot that works, and that's on the C section. Now that said, that's the prototype of this song form. That's where it traditionally happens. That's where it makes the most sense. But you could set out to figure out some way to come to that song form and put the climax someplace else and see if you can make it make sense. And a lot of times our best, most original creative work comes from tackling challenges like that of trying to defy conventions. So anyway, I want to go through some ABAC song forms. Your assignment this week is going to still be to write a lead sheet every day, but now you'll be exploring the ABAC song form. So I'm going to play through some examples of ABAC song forms and just analyze it, make sure we kind of understand them. So a ton of jazz standards and Broadway tunes are in ABAC form. Some that immediately come to mind are like There Will Never Be Another You, T for Two, How High the Moon, On Green Dolphin Street, A Foggy Day. Lots of great classic tunes. So I'll talk us through one or two. Let's start with how about T for Two. So it starts with a nice 8-bar A section, and with these classic tunes, it tends to be 8-bar sections. So T for 2, we've got that starts with an A section. And I'm going to play these kind of fast just to get through them. Now we're on B section, and the B section of T for 2 is similar to the A section, but it is up a major third from there. So here's the B section. And now we're back to the A section. And that leads us to the C section. So did you hear it kind of got higher there? That was the highest part in that C section, and then it resolved. So that's prototypical. Another example, there will never be another you. So the A section. All right, now the B section. Now the A section. This is the C section. Notice it starts the same as the B section, but it goes higher here and becomes more tense, and then it resolves. Okay. Other tunes, in a mellow tone comes to mind as an ABAC tune. There's tons of them. How High the Moon. Yeah, that it would be great, just for fun. Try writing just a 32 bar ABAC tune. Just follow that path. A lot of times when we get an idea, it might start with just like a little melody, just a little melodic fragment even, but maybe we hear kind of the beginning of a phrase. So, when that happens, one thing you can do is you can ask yourself, like, is this phrase, is it a question or is it an answer? And if you think it's a question, then you know that you need to find what the answer is. If you think it's an answer, then figure out what question it's answering. I have a lot of tunes like that where the first idea I have ends up being like the third bar of the song, even though that's what I first heard. I first hear the answer and then I find the question. Another question you can ask yourself, does it repeat or does it do something new? And again, you can try it both ways and pick which you like. And in choosing our song forms, that's also sort of how we deal with it. We might come up with 8 bars and we say, okay, do I want to hear that 8 bars again, or do I want to hear it go somewhere new? And a lot of times, if I want to hear it again, then it might be an AABA tune. If I want it to go somewhere new, then it might be an ABAC tune, or some form we haven't discussed yet. And it doesn't have to be 8 bars. That was just an example. So along those lines, one of the great things about these song forms is that like they have this built-in shape to them and this built-in expectation. And all of art, in my opinion, is about balancing expectation and surprise. I shouldn't say all of art. That's a big statement. But that, I think, is like how I look at lots and lots of things. And it's how I think about music. So it's really helpful to me to have something like a standard song form with all that built-in expectation, because then if there's a lot of built-in expectation, it's easy to balance it with a lot of surprise. So you can take, the examples I've given of ABAC so far are all like 8-bar sections. But you can expand each section if you want. So I was thinking of a tune of mine that feels almost through composed, but it's actually just a large ABAC form. And it's just, instead of 8-bar sections, they're mostly 16 bars. Even though it almost feels through composed, it feels expansive, you still get the perks of all of that expectation that comes with a standard song form. Even though the listener, doesn't realize it at the time they're listening to it, it still plays a role. So here's, I'll give an example and I'll talk through it. This is a tune of mine called Please Know That I Love You. So I'll just call out the sections as I get there. Here's the A section. Here's the B section. Here's the A section. Here's C section. And it goes on to solos and whatnot. So anyway, you've got the kind of the best of all worlds with that. You've got the expectation of an ABAC form, and the direction. It gives a sense of direction. Otherwise, we can feel like we're kind of meandering through form. but you also have the room to expand on ideas beyond what we might be able to do in an 8 bar in 8 bar sections in a 32 bar tune. So anyway, that's something you might consider playing with. There's some more stuff that I'm excited to talk with you guys about, but I'm going to save it for a separate video. But hopefully this should be enough to get you started with your ABAC lead sheets this week. Again, the goal is to write a lead sheet every day. In reality, my expectation is that you manage to do 4 or 5 a week. And again, I don't care if they're good. You might just only get the title and a couple bars on a page some days. But just, make it it's about the process, trying to make sure you're doing something every day, getting pencil to paper. And yeah, if you have any questions, any thoughts, please shoot me an email. And I look forward to hearing from you and to hearing your music. All right, guys, have a good one. Bye.